Market update here on the second. Start off here with QQQ. So melted up like I was suspecting. One thing that I noticed about this move right here is what kind of made me determine that this is a fourth wave is this second wave took 7 days, actually 6 days. And then this fourth wave also took about 6-7 days. So I think this fourth wave right here is a little bit too short, although you could say it could be a third wave. It hit the 1.61 fib. We pulled back, but it was kind of a short fourth wave. And then we get this move right here, which is also kind of a short fifth wave. And so all that kind of, narrows it down to we're probably going to have a fifth wave. And that's exactly what happened. I was in calls and I held them all the way down here, which I don't really recommend, but I was pretty confident we were going to go higher. And I sold a bunch of those for gains up in here today. I think that we're currently, almost finished with this. But you got to watch out for these moves because, so my suspicion is that we potentially, actually, now that I'm looking at it, we potentially finished a third wave right here, maybe. It's either here or right here. Let me look at this a little bit more in depth. So we have 1, 2. This is a third wave. It crosses the parallel line, but I think that there's a very good chance that this is actually the end of the third wave right here. Third wave of a third wave, I'm sorry. So potentially, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I think we're actually right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially right here, actually. 1, 2. No, I think this is right. I think that, no, it's probably right here. Because, let's zoom in here real quick and do this over. So we have 1, 2, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third wave, pretty clear it's a third wave. Fourth wave pullback, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we're actually in a fourth wave right now. I originally had it as ABC. It doesn't really matter either way because this is going to be a fourth wave no matter what. But the way that this is moving, it's probably the third wave right here. So this is what we're looking at right here. And you have to go down on a low time frame to figure this out. But anyway, 1, 2, 3 up here, currently in a fourth wave is what I see. So that's why I'm looking for some consolidation on Monday. I'd be looking for probably something down here, back into 427 area. And let's just look at some demand zones here. If there are any demands, we went straight up, so it's kind of hard to get demand. So let's see here. I don't see any real good demand zones, even on the 15-minute time frame. So I'm just going to say we're in a fourth wave here. You can see it's very choppy. I would be looking for it to potentially come down a little bit more. But it's also possible that it's already finished. You look at this right here. Potentially A, B, C. Let's go in a little bit more. A, B, C. Go all the way down to the 1 minute. It might be finished too. It's very possible it's finished. So if the fourth wave is finished, then you're just looking for one more move higher next week. And I wish I would have caught this earlier. but that can go to a lot of different places. My main target is 433. I got that target from, taking this bottom wave and just sticking that to the bottom of this, 433. So we might see another 1% higher on Monday, or what I'd rather see is I'd rather see a little bit of consolidation on Monday to make this play out even longer. And then you never know on this fifth wave. This fifth wave could be even, it could extend even farther. The way that they're doing this, they're just destroying all the bears. So you're like, oh, this move went up 3 or 4% in a day, pulls back, you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden it rips another 2, 3, 4%, and we're up at 440 all of a sudden. So there's no resistance up here. We broke the high here, so there's no resistance up here. We're above all the moving averages. We haven't hit this area ever, so there's no telling where they're going to take this to. It could take it to 440. I think it's going to last potentially another week or two, maybe only another week, but yeah, I don't know where this will end at, but I think we're probably in a fourth wave, looking for that to go to at least 433. So, and after that, we'll start a fourth wave down. If you haven't followed my videos before, I'm looking for this to end the overall third wave and then get a fourth wave down. So a big correction is coming, but it might last all the way into OPEX, this move. So they tend to do that extension on the fifth wave because everyone, is ready for it to dip, and it just keeps on going higher. So that's QQQ. Let's go over Tesla. So Tesla, we all know is in monthly demand, hasn't been able to bounce. I think just in general, they just tend to do these kind of moves. When a stock goes straight down, it takes a while for it to base. And if it just went straight up right away, everyone makes money. So that's just the way the market moves. The market has to base, up, down, chop, chop, chop. And then you get the bulls that, die out a little bit, and then you get the bears that stay super bearish. And then eventually, after a long basing and a long time, it finally rips. And I think that's where we're at on Tesla. I think that the B wave or the second wave ended longer than expected. But I'm looking for a move on a C wave up here to at least 198 and potentially up here to 207. Like I talked about in the last video, we finally got a move higher at the end of the day. And you can see here, this lasted about 3 days, 3 trading days, and this lasted about 3 trading days. So I would expect if it's a C wave to end maybe on Tuesday. If it's a third wave, there's no telling how high it can go and how long it would take, but I'd be looking for a minimum of 207. So look for that to play out over the next couple of days. And if it fails, then I don't know what to say about Tesla anymore. It keeps on failing. So this move right here, though, is really good. And this is the kind of move where it might, you just never know. It might just gap up on Monday, too. Either that, or we're going to see something like that, or all the way up here, I think. So I don't think this is a fourth wave or anything like that. It's too big of a retrace, and then this is a corrective move. So I think we're looking at a move up here to 198 to 207. Let's see what else we got here. We got Apple. I got lucky on this one into earnings yesterday. I bought it 186. I put a limit order for after hours at 191 based on this supply zone being there. And I thought that I did not sell it, so I was kind of annoyed today when I woke up and it was at 180. But it actually sold somehow after hours, so that was pretty nice. I actually rebought the dip down here at 180, and then I sold here at 186. So made some pretty good money on Apple the last couple of days. And here's kind of the layout for Apple. So this is what I see. I think the fifth wave already ended. So I think this already topped out for 5 waves right here in July. And now I think we are in, I think it's already started correcting, but it's just going to take, this B wave is going to take a while. So we have A here, this is A, and now we're working on A, B, C. So you can see here, I'm looking for like 195 to 197 over the next couple of weeks. And then I'm looking for it to fall into late March down here to 168. That's also a demand zone. And then I'm looking for that to be AB. So A, B, and then C wave up here. And that's going to be the melt up. I'm looking for 224. And then after that will be kind of like the crash, I guess. Pull back here to 137 potentially. So Apple's got some more upside, I think, over the next 6 months. But I think on Monday, if it pulls back, so this looks like a wave 1. If it pulls back on Monday, let's see how long this took actually. So January 5th to February 2nd, I would expect this to last about 2 weeks. That takes us right into OPEX. So 195 by OPEX, and I'm looking at like this. Basically. So a pullback here on Monday would be amazing because I would just buy the dip and I put a stop below the low, and then I just ride it up to 195. And then after that, you sell, and then you ride down your puts down here to 168, and then you can buy again down there and ride it up to 224. So Apple, I think, has already topped out, like based on 5 waves right here. But again, this complex corrective move, and then after that, you're probably going to see some kind of, something like this. If the market's going to crash after it hits all-time highs, then you're going to see something like that on Apple. It's going to correct probably more than that. So I think we're getting close to the top. I could be wrong, but that's what I see short term. Meta, I haven't looked at this stock in a while. It's pretty insane. It went up 20%. Let's see here. Let's look at this on higher time frames. So there's a very good chance that this is a B wave right here, just based on what's happening here. Let's just get an idea of where this can go to. I would say good targets 545. Max 1,000, up here at 1,000. But I'm pretty sure that this is a B wave, just by the way it's moving. Could be a 5th wave, but this retraced so much. I think we're probably going to see a big dip after this tops out on Meta. So this took 14 months. Where are we at right now? We're at about 14 months. But usually the B wave lasts a little bit longer. So I would watch out on Meta. There's a lot of places it can go, but I'm looking for this to be a B wave and probably correct a lot more whenever the market crashes. So I was asked about Zoom. I haven't looked at it. Let's just see. Well, this is clearly A or 1. And then it breaks the low. So we know it's not going to be a 5-wave move. That took about 1.5 years. clearly longer. Let's just see. I mean, on this one, you're probably just looking at the bottom here. You don't have to really even do that much. I think that we can just zoom in on this wave. Might take me a second. I think this is probably an A wave right here. So this took October 26th to December 3rd or December 8th. So about a month and a half. Yeah, I'd be looking for I mean, I think you could see potentially 62 bucks. But let's just see. 1, 2. You're probably looking at this right here like this. A. B. So ABC. It's probably a WXY move, actually. Could be ABC as well. Let's just see. Yeah, this is WXY. So that means it's going to be ABC. So you're looking at this like oh wow, it hit the 1.61 FIP perfectly. Let's draw a parallel line now to. This is probably not going to help out that much because this is higher. Next thing you do is we got to look at demand zones. So on the daily, I see one down here at 60. I see one up here. And so this is definitely a good demand zone right here. Let's go to the weekly. So that's what I see for demand zones. But I don't know if it'll make all the way down there. I think 62 bucks might be the bottom. I just don't see this being a demand. Let's see if it's on the 4-hour. So yeah, my target is 62 bucks. You can see there is a demand zone right there. 4-hour demand is right here. Although it did break it right there. So I'd be watching that level. There's also a gap right here that got filled though, right here on this candle. So there's no gaps below. I'd probably be looking in this box to be long on this. And then you got to figure out how long this lasted. That lasted a month and 13 days. So you're looking at it probably already close to bottoming on this next move. So now you can zoom in here and you can look at this is likely A, B, C. We already hit the 1.61 fib exactly. And I would say there's a good chance it's bottomed already. So maybe 62 bucks. But I would also be looking at this as ABC. I don't think it's a 5-wave move. So then you're looking at potentially maybe 79 bucks on the next move higher. Got to be careful though on corrective moves. I don't know if it's going to go to 79 bucks right away. You could be looking at, depending on the overall market, you could be looking at something like this too. You could be it could bounce like this and then come down lower too. So based on what I see right here, I think that this is probably about finished. And so you're going to at least get a bounce here soon. And I would expect that bounce to last guess it's kind of hard to say. Maybe this will just rip the next couple of weeks too. Don't know. I don't know if they have earnings or not. I don't know that much about this company. Anyway, that's what I see. Looks like A, B. It's long enough to be a B wave. This is probably coming to completion. If this is coming to completion, then I would expect at least a bounce. Are there any gaps to the upside? We don't know. And yes, there's a gap to the upside. So I would at least target this $67 gap. You also have a gap up here at 71 bucks too. So 67 to 71 bucks probably coming soon. So that's Zoom. PayPal. So I said that this was like one of my favorite setups, and the reason is, so I think the 5 waves into right here, that's an A wave, and then we get this impulse move, and then we get this chop down right here. I think this chop down was a B wave, and so the reason I like this setup is it hit the 1.61 fib. Almost exactly, a little bit past it. So I think that this B wave should be finished. And this took a total of about 16 months. So I'd look for about 8 months for this to finish. Takes us to about July, end of June. And that's kind of my target for the overall market to top out anyway. So then you can just take this right here, and I'd be looking for a minimum of 0.61 fib, 78 bucks, to a maximum here at 162. There are a million gaps to fill. We got gap fills at 72, 85, 107, 115, and 157. So I'm looking for something, and I have this as WXY, but it might not be on. I should just look at this on the daily and the weekly, because then I get too much into it. If this is a first wave, we might hit this right here at 72 soon. Yeah, this is probably a wave 1, just because it doesn't make sense for it to be WXY. So, and it hit the 0.5 fib. So, it kind of depends. I don't know if this is going to be, let's see, this could be an A wave. Let's see, 1. This could be a B wave too. If that's the case, so we could be seeing this as well. And have more of a correction. That actually probably makes more sense than going higher. Or this is a second wave right here, and we're in a second wave pullback right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just don't know if that's going to happen over the next couple of weeks though, because the overall market's probably going to correct. So on this one, I'm just kind of I'm just buying shares. I'm not even playing around with options on this one. I have shares in the 60s, and I'm just going to hold them no matter what, and I might add if we pull back. We do have a gap down here at 55 and at 52, gap up here at 72. If it does go up here to 72 bucks, I might take profit just because I'm expecting a market correction. But I don't know which pattern is going to play out. This one probably makes more sense though, to be honest. Coming down here to 54 bucks, because that could happen over the next like month or two, and then we take off after that. So I think if this is a first wave, I'd be targeting at least 75 bucks, probably higher, but a minimum of, I would say a minimum of $88. So that would fill two of these gaps. You have more gaps up here. And again, you can get extensions as well. But overall, just the general structure of this move is one of my favorite setups because you know you're going to get at least a move to the 0.61 fib, potentially all the way up here. And then you look at this overall structure right here. This was an A wave. Took about 15 months. I think we're working on a B wave. And then when the market crashes, I expect this to go down a lot more. So I expect it to go down, fill this gap minimum here at 45 bucks. Small chance it goes down here at 45 bucks before that, but I think that we're in a C wave. So what else happened today? Microsoft, another one. I was in this again with calls. I made some money on it. I sold too early again. Actually, yesterday I sold at the right time. Today I sold too early. But I think that, again, it's in a third wave here, similar to the overall market. And we're probably looking at it, let's see here. So it's going to go to 415, pull back, and it's probably going to go all the way up to like, you're probably looking at 420, 430 on Microsoft to complete the overall fifth wave. And Amazon, I haven't really done that one in a while. I haven't done either of the stocks that took off. It's kind of annoying, but they both just ran so hard that I lost interest in them, and they just keep on going up. But Amazon is, wow, Amazon might be going a lot higher now. My original top target was like 163, and we've already gone through that. We went right through this supply zone right here. And are we at all-time? We're getting close to all-time highs here at 187. So yeah, this is just a fifth wave. So I had this wrong. I had it as a third wave. So fourth wave here. We're just in a fifth wave here. So, and we're nearing the end of it. So this is clearly a third wave, fourth wave. But the thing is, this is pretty insane. But now that I look at this chart, it looks to me like this is just in a third wave of a third wave. So that's pretty insane. 1, 2, 3 might be way up here. This might be just be going parabolic for the next while. So we are currently that's where we're at right now. So maybe when it finishes this, we'll get a pullback. But Amazon's just in its own world. So is Meta. I think both of those stocks are just. There's a slim chance, I guess, that this could be a third wave and this is a fifth wave, but I don't think so. I think this is a second wave of a third wave, we might see Amazon going all the way to 200, just based on what it's doing right here. It makes it kind of iffy too. It makes it kind of like, okay, we're gonna get a market correction in March, I think, but why is Amazon just going parabolic right here? Yeah, crazy. The dollar, last thing before I end this video, the dollar, or maybe we'll take a look at Bitcoin too. The dollar is going higher here, but I think that this is probably a B wave. So yeah, I think this is probably A, B, C. So we should get a move down in the dollar next week. And then after that, we go higher. We're almost there. Last thing, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is following the pattern that I have laid out pretty closely. I'm looking for a move back down here to like maybe 41, 42, and then a rip up here to 46, 47 over the next couple of weeks, maybe only a week. This is only taking 7 days, so maybe into the 6th we fall, which is Monday, Tuesday, and then we rip for another 7 days to like mid-February, and then you're looking at just a move down here probably to like 35, 40. So that's pretty much it. You can see the general narrative is stocks are going to be going higher for the next couple of weeks still, and you're going to have Bitcoin going higher. The dollar should be falling, and then after that, you're probably going to get out because we're probably going to have a big correction into late February, probably all of March, and maybe even into April. So that's it for me. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe. Catch you in the next video.